G'day SA.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Jay, and welcome to Woodside.
Today we'll be exploring two awesome venues.
I'll tell you what, one thing I'm looking forward to is the cheese factory.
Oh, me too, but also Melba's chocolate factory. I cannot wait.
Trust you.
The awesome part about Woodside, it's only a short trip from Adelaide.
And if you've got nothing to do, I suggest you come up here and check it out for yourself.
Well, it only took us about 40 minutes to get to the beautiful Woodside.
We blinked and we basically got here, and I'm excited to come here today. They make cheeses and a whole heap of different other products that we don't really know much about.
We haven't been here before, so why don't we take a look inside and see what it's all about?
Let's get in there. Come to the Woodside Cheese, right? And I'll tell you what, as soon as you come through that door, you can absolutely smell the aroma and the atmosphere.
It is amazing. So many things to check out here. So today, we'll have a sit down and talk with Chris Lloyd to find out all about the different cheeses she makes and the story behind them.
Also, I'm going to tell you how to make feta cheese. There's an art to it, and we'll learn about that a little bit later on as well.
There we go. Can't wait. Here we are with Chris Lloyd, the owner of Woodside Cheese Rights. Thank you so much for allowing us into your wonderful cheese cellar door. That's what we call it, isn't it?
Lovely to have you here, Jenna.
Let's start off with how you got into cheese making.
Well, it actually was a little bit by accident, and I guess about 14 years down the track now, I look back and I think, wow, I didn't know anything about cheese making when I first bought the business. So we've come a long way. It's been a steep learning curve, but it's been a lot of fun. Cheese making is really creative, and I've really fallen in love with it.
Were you just a lover of cheese before you got into it, or just wanted to give it a try?
No, not really. We have a family business which has olive oil and olives, so some lovely food products, and also wine. And we thought it'd be a really nice thing to add cheese, you know, that whole cheese and wine thing. So yeah, that's basically how I ended up landing myself as a cheesemaker.
Well, really, the business has just grown in lengths since you started. Let's talk about how you first started. Let's talk about how much cheese you would have sold, say, in a week compared to now.
Oh, it's just enormous how much the business has grown. Over the period of around 2002 to 2006, we grew 4 times over. So this little cheese over here, which is called Edith, I can remember making about 45 of those a week. Now we're probably making the 2,000 and something or other. So that just shows you how much, or how popular I think cheese has become in Australia.
Now, Edith is probably the most popular cheese that you make here?
It's our flagship cheese, so we've been making Edith for around about 16 years. It's a goat's cheese, and I'd probably say that, yeah, definitely in Australia that would be the cheese that we're most known for.
What else have we got here?
Okay, so we've got the Monet in the front there, and Monet actually won the 2012 Grand Dairy Award this year, which is the equivalent of the Jimmy Watson in wine. That's again a goat cheese that's encrusted with edible herbs and flowers, and it looks beautiful and it tastes absolutely delicious. And then this one is a new cheese. It's called the Blue Shrew. So it's a Gorgonzola style cheese, Gorgonzola picante, so it's quite a firm cheese. And if we were to cut that in the centre and open it up, you have beautiful blue veins right through the cheese.
Am I able to give it a try?
Of course.
All right, let's just straight down the middle?
Yeah.
All right, I hope I do this okay. Oh, it's quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a semi-hard style.
I have to sort of almost get up. Maybe I should leave it to you. Should you give it a try?
It is a hard cheese to cut, this one. I'm going to put it down like this, and we'll give it a
so you've got the muscles.
Oh, yeah, all that cheese making, all that stirring and hooping and whatever else that we do. Okay,
look at that.
There we've got some blue vein development. So this is still going to mature for another couple of, month or so.
Smells
you can
amazing.
smell that lovely blue flavour. You can actually smell it. It's just divine.
So Edith, Monet and Blue Shrew, quite unusual names for cheese. Tell us about how you came up with your quirky little names.
Yeah, I guess I always wanted to just have give something a name. I think if you name something, all of a sudden, you know, you kind of own it, if you know what I mean, and so you can relate to it. So if we're making a new cheese, it just is a lot easier if we can refer to it by a name. And I like to use different names, and sometimes the cheeses have a story. The names have a story behind them, and sometimes they're just names just for a bit of fun.
Now you've got Pompeii.
Yes.
Love that. You've got a bit of ash in there or something, you said.
That's right. So we kind of thought that that was probably quite appropriate for Pompeii.
History lovers.
Yeah, definitely. And then we felt a little bit sorry for Pompeii, so we decided to make a little volcano with ash on it and call it Vesuvius. Just for a bit of fun. But it kind of makes sense because it is a volcano-shaped little cheese, but it's very, very small.
And it's quite an experience for people to come in here. You've got a lot of lovely Australian and South Australian produce in here because, you know, cheese is great. It's always great with something else on the side, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, there's a lot of different accompaniments that you can put with cheese. No longer, I think, do we just limit ourselves to a bit of dried fruit and maybe some grapes. You could put chutneys. Obviously, we have all the quince pastes. There's a beautiful beetroot relish that somebody makes locally that goes absolutely gorgeously with the Edith's cheese. So
I bet.
I think people should be a little bit adventurous with what they put with cheese. You know, not to stick to the same thing.
Well, Chris, I just need to get into this, and I think I'd love to see how you guys make it. So shall we go check that all out?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Now, Chris, the idea of me making cheese is opening my fridge, getting it out and whacking it on a sandwich. So this is a great experience for me today. You're going to show me how to make one of your 20 styles of cheeses.
I certainly am, and this is a little goat's cheese, and I've set this overnight, so just have a little smell of that.
That smells, oh.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Right.
So you've got the sweetness of the milk coming through, but you've also got a beautiful acid development there. And you need the acid in the cheese to actually ripen it and to preserve it. So here we go, and you've got to be really gentle because the curds are so fragile at this point.
There's a nursery rhyme there somewhere, isn't there?
There is, actually. Yeah. Do you want to have a go?
No.
Oh, come on.
All right, let me give it a go.
A little Miss Muffet.
Sat on a tuffet.
Yeah, eating her curds and whey. So that's where the curds and whey comes from. So the whey is the liquid, and obviously the curd is the solid part, or the cheesy part, if you like. There you go. So we're going to let that sit in our little draining situation. We've got our cheesecloth, and that's just going to drain.
Look at that.
Yeah. So what we need is a lot of that moisture to come out of that cheese so that it becomes more solid, and then we can actually shape it.
Shape it and mould it to a design that we like.
Formaggio. Okay, so 30 minutes.
30 minutes have to wait.
Yeah.
That means one thing, we now can make some feta cheese.
Cheese time.
Cheese time. Now time to get dirty.
Absolutely.
Now what we've done, we have milked a goat from local produced dairy around Woodside.
Yes.
And then can you tell us a process quickly before we got to this stage again?
Okay, so basically what we did, that beautiful fresh milk, we put some starter culture in there, just a little bit of starter culture and a little bit of rennet, and we've left it sit overnight. It's a traditional lactic set, and so overnight the cheese has come together as a whole mass. So they say it coagulates, so it comes together, and the next day we've actually hooped it out of the little vat, and allowed it to drain.
And now this is the cool part.
It is the cool part, and I can still get that beautiful smell.
I know, you're making me hungry.
Ooh la la. So these have just been soaking in our sanitizer, so they're all nice and clean. And would you like to be my trusty helper?
I'll be the trusty if you can trust me.
Okay, and we're going to take this curd that's been draining, and you can see, now remember when we poured that, it was really quite runny, and now look at it, it's lovely and thick. Okay, that will give us our shape or our form, and we're going to let that just sit for a little bit longer. Obviously, we'll continue to lose a little bit of weight, and that cheese will just get more dense as time goes by.
Now, I want to say it is very seasonal when it comes to making cheese, because goats always mate and have babies in the winter months.
That's right.
So we're coming up to spring and summer, which are the goats' perfect time for making cheese. And in winter, that's when you make, obviously, all your cow cheeses.
That's right, yes. So while the goats are pregnant, they don't actually produce anywhere near as much milk. And also it's quite cold, and they're quite lean creatures, and so they use a lot of their energy to keep themselves warm and to feed their unborn babies. So in that time when we don't have the goat milk, then we start making our cow milk cheeses. So we made the Blue Shrew, introduced that new this year.
Beautiful. Now, how long will we let this sit for again?
I think we'll probably let that sit there for about 15 minutes. Okay, here we go. 15 minutes, patience and cheese.
Is a virtue.
Yes, entirely.
15 minutes is up now, Chris. So let's just get the mould and let's just get it onto the board and show everybody our little creation.
The fruits of our labour. Okay, here she comes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There we
Look
go.
At that. That's great,
So
isn't
a little
it?
bit more time, that would have obviously firmed up.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I mean, you can leave that for longer. Obviously, you can still leave this overnight. The longer you leave it, the more dense the curd structure becomes. But you can just see how easy it is to put together a beautiful little goat's cheese.
And that would go amazing with some salads, obviously, like with some feta. And what else do you suggest?
Absolutely. Yes, oh look, pop it through your salad, even your pasta. If you make a lovely fresh pasta, say with some basil, tomato, and throw a little bit of goat's cheese in, a little bit of cracked pepper, olive oil.
Now,
delicious.
You know when Mum used to make cakes and we used to lick the bowl?
Yes.
Can I lick the bowl or lick that? what can I do? Which way can I go?
Oh, I don't know. You're going to have to make up your own mind
All
on
right,
that
I'm
one.
going to do it anyway. Let's try this. I've never had goat's cheese before.
Is that right?
That is really, really nice.
Fantastic.
I could actually eat the whole... No, I won't.
Oh, no, no, don't do that. Maybe I'll get you a spoon.
Get me a spoon.
Should we do that? Here you go.
Now, Jenna, we just walked out of the cheese factory, and I tell you what, I am full.
Well, you did have every cheese that was available there.
Did you have to tell everybody? Your interview, though, with Chris was absolutely amazing.
What an inspiring lady. Not to mention the cheese you got to make. Well done.
I thought I was pretty good at that.
You did me proud.
But, Jenna, I know you have a sweet tooth, and what are we going to do now?
It is very convenient. A chocolate factory right next door to the cheese factory. Let's go check out Elvis.
Yes.
Wait for me.
Very excited to have one of South Australian icons with me today. His name is Graham from Melba's Chocolate. How are you?
Howdy, how's things?
I've seen your face everywhere around South Australia. Now, you are so passionate about chocolate. You've started since 1981. Can you just give us a little bit of a background on how you started your business?
Well, we had a little restaurant on Anzac Highway called Melba's, and we started that back in the early 80s, and then we started making chocolates in about 2 weeks before Easter, and we put a little Easter egg house on the mantelpiece, and the shopkeeper from the Central Market came in and asked us how much, and so he kept us really busy for 2 weeks before Easter. And then I went and saw a lecturer at Regency Park at TAFE, and he put me in touch with a retired Dutch confiteor who had everything for making chocolates, or as the Dutch call them, bonbons, everything for making them by hand. So we started in a little laundry, the wash house, behind a restaurant on Anzac Highway.
And then it all taken off for you in 1991 when someone had a bit of a sweet tooth and got into the convention centre and they wanted your chocolates. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we decided to expand the business, so we got hired a salesman that went around to a few places, and one of them was the Adelaide Convention Centre when they had first kicked off, and they had a South Australian charter, which is great. And we went from, at that stage we were supplying a range of boutique hotels with signature lines. We would duplicate their logo in chocolate, and then the Adelaide Convention Centre said, yes, we want your chocolates. So we reproduced their logo, and we went from making hundreds of chocolates to thousands of chocolates.
And then all of a sudden, bang, it took off. You've come to a former milk depot here. Can you tell us what year you came here? And because you had to transform this, because it was abandoned for about 14 years, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, you've done your research, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, it was empty for 14 years. When we shifted here, birds and sheep used to wander through, and we had a bat, we had a factory bat that flew around at night as well. And what we did, we bought 5 acres of land, but 2.5 acres of buildings.
Wow.
And the old meatworks next door, that had been burnt out, and we pretty much dedicated our lives to it day and night for about 4 years. And we sold our family home. We built a little apartment, or converted the laboratory area into a 3-bedroom apartment, and actually lived on site for 6 years.
Now, you're so passionate like we are about South Australian produce. What's some of your trademark chocolates that you're recognised for with Melba's?
Well, you've got some chocolate macadamias there, I think. And,
no, I didn't see any chocolate macadamias.
And then our Rocky Road is great. Everybody has a signature Rocky Road. And then we like to put a bit of fun into the chocolate as well, and much, you know, some people disagree. But when we went to the Adelaide show, we could not help but make a chocolate cow pat.
And a chocolate cow pat, is that in the shape of chocolate?
Yep, yeah. Number 2s. And yeah, for the die-hard that like their fine foods and things, they can't come to terms with that. But I can tell you, we sell thousands of them. We've actually trademarked it.
And finally, people come here for daily tours on the weekends. It's really busy now. How often are you open for the public to come and visit?
7 days a week. We close Christmas Day and Boxing Day.
That's it. No rest for the wicked.
That's right. Must have been a naughty boy.
And when you come in, there's an amazing quote board. Can you tell everybody what this week's quote is? Or do you want me to tell you?
No, it's your turn, I think.
Once you consume chocolate, chocolate will consume you. And I tell you what, that is, I live by that. Thank you very much. Good luck with your business.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to go and have a look on how you produce some licorice and some chocolate. Thank you, Graham. I'm with Malcolm, one of the licorice extraordinaires here down at Melba's. He is the licorice maker. How many years have you been working here, Malcolm?
About 7 to 8 years.
7 to 8 years, that is a long, long time. Can you tell me the process of the licorice, how it became to this little square I'm holding, which I'm dying to taste?
We make it into a hard toffee. We put licorice in as the flavour, real licorice, real aniseed as the flavour. And then it's rolled in the roller back there. And then it goes through the cutter back here and it comes out as these little blocks. It cools down, we break it up into slabs to go through the wrapping machine, which is behind us there. And then it's packed and so on.
And then it gives us some licorice goodness. I've been dying to try this all day, and I'm going to test out your skills.
Don't bite it, it's very hard. No, suck it.
I'm bitter. Just broke the tooth. Thank you very much for your experience. Keep up the good work at Melba's, mate.
Thank you.
Well, I'm all geared up, ready to fulfill my all-time favourite dream, to make some chocolate moulds. Let's do it, Graham.
Okay, we can do some bilbies. This is a new mould we've just brought in from Germany. And we're going to put 3 shots of chocolate in here. And then we join the mould together when we take it over to the spinner.
All right, so 3 shots.
This is a beautiful little old chocolate depositor.
Okay.
There's not one electronic piece on it. It is all mechanical.
Gotta pay attention.
And yeah, so we got 2 of them. So now we line up the holes.
Oh, okay, yep.
Mind your fingers, industrial magnets. Give it a shake.
Look at that.
And then we come around and we put it on the spinner.
So we've set our moulds and we've put them on that little thingy-majiggy. Tell us what it is, Graham.
It's a spinner. Because we want the chocolate to be hollow, it rotates in a full circle, and then it's got a vibration adapter in it as well, which makes sure the chocolate goes to the outside of the mould.
Okay, and how long does it need to be on there for?
Just under 5 minutes. It's probably due to come off now, and then we put them in the cold room, let them cool down and set. One of the good things about chocolate when you're moulding it is that chocolate shrinks, so it actually will shrink away from the mould. And,
so easy to peel off.
Yeah, and then they fall out. So.
And how long till I can eat one of those?
How long? 20 minutes. You got to wait 20 minutes.
Let's talk about the history. You, Melbers, were the first people to create the chocolate bilbo.
Bilby was first done in 1993, and we were the first company to release it. The famous Hague's company launched theirs the day after. We worked with a local artisan, and our moulds were made locally, and we had much larger, more realistic. But this year, the old moulds basically wore out. So this year we had to spend quite a bit of money, and we got a proper chocolate mould made in Germany. And but it's still a standing Bilby, which we're very proud of. And yeah, when the Bilby was first launched, it was a really big thing. And one of the proudest things was that there was like ourselves and Hague's and a voluntary group at Port Adelaide. All the press in Australia came to Adelaide for that. There was huge interest. I do remember the buyer from Harriscast ringing out and telling me asking me when we can get some more Bilbies, because they had a queue from their counter through the store and out along Grenfell Street for 2 bus stops. People wanting Easter Bilby. So it was a very, very hectic time. I can't say that I really enjoyed it, but it was a most memorable time, the 3rd year of the first Easter Bilby in Australia.
The chocolate itself, I always find around, Easter, Christmas, when we have our yummy eggs and our bunnies and bilbies, the chocolate just tastes so much better than your regular chocolate. What goes into that chocolate?
It's probably the fact that it's had the air inside, because they're made quite a few months in advance of Easter. We obviously can't make it and deliver it and dispatch it all within a couple of weeks. So and they're wrapped and sealed, and then they've got a high exposure to the air surface because they're hollow. So it's a combination of the chocolate being oxygenized to a certain extent that gives that really unique Easter chocolate taste. I know what you mean. I love it.
I'm here with my new best friend Laura, who runs this chocolate room, I'm told. We've got my chocolate bilbies out and we're going to crack them out of these moulds. Talk us through it, Laura.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to open them up and take them out. So they've all set nicely in here, and then let's go on the tray now.
Oh, so cute!
There we are, so we've got 2 nice bilbies there. And unfortunately these ones have cracked, so they'll go back in the kettle. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, they're the bad ones, but we've got 2 nice bilbies here. And there we are.
So, Melba's standing Bilby, all ready for Easter. Oh!
I'm overflowing. Wait, one more.
I don't know about you, but I am absolutely pooped after today's experience, a hands-on experience with the licorice maker.
Yeah, it is really cool here because you can actually go up to those windows and see everything being done. How fun.
It's been great. I had a chat with Graham and told us a little bit about the history on how he started. What a South Australian icon.
Has been amazing. I think, what do you reckon? My arm's getting sore. Should we go ahead with this stuff?
Now, it just came out of Melbourne's, and I tell you what, I am eating so much chocolate you would not believe. And how appropriate is it that we've got scales on the way out?
I can't believe it, but Jay, 180 kilos.
No, take that, Jenna, because I swear like 90 kilos.
To finish off today's show, the photo opportunity of the week. And Jay, you've made a few new friends.
I have made a few new friends. I'm going to add them on Facebook when we get home, but we are going to have a photo opportunity of the week. But we'd like to thank everyone from Woodside for making us feel very, very welcome today. They've been lovely.
We've had a fantastic day. Thanks for watching G'day SA. Cheers.